I'm going to call to order the Historic Preservation Commission meeting, Monday, July 1st. Item 2 is our public comments. Do we need to have a roll call?
Yep.
Roll call.
Okay. James Hensley, absent. Aaron Brown,
Here.
Patrick Kerr, absent. Valerie Duncan,
Here.
Adam Ropp,
Present.
Lynn Bilodeau,
Here.
and James Long.
Here.
All right, and Joe Chappell, I'm sorry.
Here.
All right,
All right.
so we have a quorum.
If we have any public comments unrelated to the application, you can do so now. If you'd like to wait till the application that you've submitted, we'll get you as we go through each item. Is there anyone that has anything to say early on? All right. Item number 3 is approval of the previous minutes from the regular meeting on June 3rd, 2019.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Item 4 is HPC application 19013, a request for a certificate of appropriateness for new paint, new roof, and replacement of windows for a home located at 322 South 1st Street. Staff report?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, as indicated, this is an existing home. The applicant's looking to repaint, re-roof, and replace the windows. They're also looking to demolish the existing garage that is in somewhat disrepair and then replace it with a two-stall garage, roughly in the same place. They will just encroach to the west a little bit more, not the alley side, to accommodate the additional square footage of the garage. You can see it on the screen there, be to the west, and then the retaining wall will be moved. But there will not be a need for the retaining wall anymore with the driveway approach that's there. The colors that were submitted were, staff would consider to be historic colors. They were on part of a Sherwin-Williams color palette. The windows are to be aluminum, but they're going to be color bronze. And then the roof is going to be kind of a typical shingle black roof. So with that, staff recommends that the commission would approve the certificate of appropriateness as submitted. So I'll leave it back to the commission for any comments.
Do we have any questions? I have one. In the example here, and this is your project, sir? And what is,
Yes, sir.
And what is your name?
My name's Mitch Duraney.
In the example here for the garage, Mitch, it shows this large concrete driveway, and I was just curious as to whether if you're going to leave grass between you and what is this, the alley?
Yes, I can, because I was going to move the garage 3 foot
To the left?
to the west, yes. And that way I could probably put maybe a flower planter on the end of the alley if they don't run out over it all the time, you know what I'm saying?
So is the garage will still, you're going to move it to the left, but it will still come over to the telephone pole, right?
Yes, well, no, it will be.
Oh, you need to speak into the microphone, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, it'll go to the west of the
that.
telephone pole, yes.
Okay, and it won't be as close as it is now?
No, it'll be, I was going to move it 3 feet more to the west.
Okay. My concern was that if that whole part was concreted, it's going to end up looking commercial and not residential, and I know you're right next to a
It's
commercial
right
zone.
behind me. The alley they use all day
Yeah,
long.
but just trying to keep your lot residential and not having the concrete extend past the building on either side?
No,
Okay, that's not your plan.
no.
All right, well, that's the only question I had.
Oh,
I
okay.
assume he would have an approach. Are you asking if he's going to have an approach onto the drive?
No, what I'm talking, you have this here. I'm talking about once his garage goes in, that not, because is the, oh, this is going to face the alley?
Pardon
No.
me?
This is facing the street?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Springer. That's
Yeah,
where
my
the driveway
concern was that it just
entrance.
wasn't gonna, in
It's
this
gonna
picture,
be,
it looks like it's concrete way past the building.
Yeah, and just to help clarify a little bit, yeah, that's why I put on there conceptual only, because the approach will be much different. It was just the basic architectural rendering of what he's going to be
Right,
putting there in
just the
colors to
building.
match.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to get rid of the retaining wall that's there that's falling down. I'm going to remove all of that,
Good.
so that way it's a lot better.
All righty.
It's a big upgrade.
Okay. Yeah, it's a nice house.
Well, it will be,
I mean,
yes.
I'm glad to see that you're
It'll
saving
be
it.
beautiful when it's done, believe me.
Good.
Yeah, because we went inside and redid everything, because it's deteriorated, it's 19 years old.
Yeah.
But it's still standing.
That's right.
Is there a second level room or is that just an attic?
Pardon me?
Is this on? Can you hear me? Is it a second level? Is it a second level or is that just like an attic window?
Well, it's a two-story. Yeah, there's a second floor in it, yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we've remodeled it completely.
All right.
What are the exterior colors, just out of curiosity?
The colors?
The colors, exterior?
Yeah, they're from the historic charts.
It's rose dust, which is sort of a pinkish color,
Uh-huh.
with
There it is.
greenish blue as an accent color, blue sky
Okay.
from Sherwin-Williams, and then cream white is the trim color.
Okay.
Yes, and see the bluish color there will go on the pieces that are made out of like shake material.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be the accent. The base color is the sort of a,
Rose dust.
yes,
pinkish
yes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Didn't include those because they didn't come on the copier, but those are basically.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you guys were looking at it.
No, no.
The color scanner doesn't do justice to colors, so I just forget to hand out the samples.
That's cool.
Okay. Well, I like the colors, and with the garage being a utilitarian secondary structure, I don't see any problem with demoing it and rebuilding something that would
Yeah.
Yeah.
be more appropriate.
Yeah.
It'll be made out of the same material as the house is.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
That way it all matches and everything, yes.
Okay. Do we have any more questions from the commissioner? All right. Can I get a motion?
I'd move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. We have a roll call. All right.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Adam Ropp,
Yes.
Lynn Bilodeau,
Yes.
Aaron Brown,
Yes.
Joe Chappell.
Yes. All right. All right. Item 4 is HPC application 19013. This is a request for a certificate of appropriateness for new paint, new roof, and replacement of windows for, I'm reading the same one.
Yeah, same one.
Sorry.
Next one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I just made a long meeting longer. HPC application 19014, a request for certificate of appropriateness for adding a rear door, replacing a rear overhead door, and reopening a closed-in door, and painting the east wall for a building located at 110 West Harrison. Staff report.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Commissioner, Chairman. As you indicated, here's a picture of the existing building in the back, and basically, the doors to the middle only open partially, the applicant had indicated, and to the left there was an overhead door that is not working very well, and so they're looking to replace with an overhead door, make the middle doors work, and then at one time, there was doors to the far right where the meter box is. On the left side of that meter box, they're going to put an actual man door there that's functioning. And then the other element was on that eastern elevation that just popped up was to repaint that. As you can see, it's kind of a peachish type color, and they're looking to repaint it to a rhubarb which is in the Ace Hardware Historic, so it's more of a reddish color versus the current peach color. So with that, staff didn't really see any issue with the application and would recommend that the commission approve as submitted. So back to the commission.
Should I make corrections if you misunderstood part of it?
Yes, if I misunderstood, I greatly apologize, and please do so.
Not that I don't know that it makes a big difference, but you might want to put the picture back up there.
Oh, I can't do that
Oh,
in there,
okay.
but
Maybe
they
Aaron
have
can.
the
Okay.
picture of the building.
We do have the
Yeah.
picture.
Okay, originally, there were 3 doors across the back. And
There we go.
the 2 on each side are closed in completely. Yeah, there's no doors. And then the sliding doors in the middle, one of them has been stabilized, and the other one will slide about 3 feet. And so we'd like to put a 6-foot door in the left opening, and then in the right opening, put a 3-foot door for exit. And then in the middle, we'd like to replace the sliding doors with an overhead door. So right now, that door that slides a little bit is the only exit we have out of the back of the building.
No, is there, and you're talking about a 6-foot door here?
Yeah, like a double 3-foot, 2.
Okay, but it looks like there sort of was something there at one point, or like a window or something.
Yeah, it kind of does. Like you said, that it looked like it might even been within that kind of what was originally like an overhead door.
So it's going to be just a double door, a 6-foot double door that just swings out,
Yes.
not an overhead door?
Right.
What kind of door is it?
On the left opening,
I'm sorry, the center.
the center door will be there's a drawing there a little bit. It's just going to be an overhead door, and I want glass window lights or whatever you call on the top of it to let light
At the
in.
top.
But it'll be an overhead door.
Is it metal?
Yes.
Is this particular overhead door, will these be that many small panes, or is this, do you know exactly what?
I don't know exactly. I looked at some, and that's sort of what I wanted to do was,
Anybody have any other questions?
Will the metal doors be painted this color?
Uh,
Or,
the back doors I have for paint. Well, I thought I had. The back doors, I wanted to do the Granny Apple Green that is on that chart,
We don't have,
and then it'll be black.
do you have
The
any
trim will
colors
be black.
for this particular proposal, Dan?
The main color I had was for, no, it actually, yeah, the Granny Smith, because it was part, yeah, and I apologize, I forgot to mention it, but the doors, they wanted to have painted a lighter green, which is the Granny Smith, and then it would have the darker blue trim, which is
Which
the
one
real
is it, the
Granny.
bottom one?
The trim will be black.
Oh, black, okay,
Real grand.
okay,
The what will be?
The trim will
be black.
I see.
And the doors. And then the back of the building, the brick is not painted. But the side of the building, then we'll paint. the
That
red.
Right.
red
Because
brick.
my understanding is the brickwork on the back will not change, correct? Yeah.
The only concern I have at all is with the garage door here in the middle. Others may have other concerns, but from the drawing, it's just sort of hard to tell. I mean, if it looked just like the drawing, I could maybe see it with the small panes, but if this isn't going, if the panes aren't going to be that small and doubled, I mean, we don't want to see just a normal garage door, you know, like a
With
typical garage
larger
door
windows.
with,
Do you have a picture on your phone,
No,
real
I
quick? You
don't.
can just show me on the internet. Just Google it in and show us.
I could find that one again and send it to you. Now, most of them will also have different patterns underneath the windows. But like I say, I had not picked a particular door yet, and so I didn't put any drawings in there.
And these face the alley, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
These face the alley, the
Yes.
doors?
Right.
Okay.
And are you wanting the overhead door to be the same color as the pedestrian doors?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering. Is it like this? Look at this, Beth.
Yes, similar to that. Only the ones that I looked at the bottom looks more barn doorish looking. You know, but the panes are small like that.
Well, those small window lights would kind of mimic or echo like the entresol windows that we have on the street sides.
Yes, well, it also.
Is this the one you showed her? Yeah.
The picture, the barn doors have windows in the door, and they have those, about that, the same size lights, the same size window. Yeah, see how the windows are divided light?
Oh, let me show them. Let me show Valerie and Lynn.
Oh, okay.
Well, being that this is the alley side, I don't think that it would really have a huge impact on the historic aesthetic of your front. And I think the doors that you're proposing would clean up the back the way that it looks now. So especially if those, the barn-style door with a lot of those entresol-type window lights at the top, I think that could
That
look
would
very
match
good.
the look of the entresol windows. Yeah. And I love that you're getting rid of the peach.
The peach, yes,
I assume there'd be
Yeah.
no problem with that.
yes.
I thought about putting the green on the side.
No,
Well,
That might be much.
That would be a little much green, so.
That'd be a little much.
Although, I think I sent a picture, if you look from the east, you know all the murals that are on that side wall? The one that you see, when you see my wall over here, they use that green in that mural. And I thought it would look sort of cool, but I decided to stick with the red brick color.
Good.
Very cool.
Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second.
All right, Adam Ropp
Yes.
and Billadu,
Yes.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Aaron Brown,
Yes,
Joe Chappell.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
thank you.
Item number 6, application 19015, a request for a certificate of appropriateness for new window signage for a building located at 105 West Harrison. Staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, this is for window signage. The current business is Get Vaped. They have a couple green leaves that they had put on the front of their window, so they're looking to get approval for that. The approximate coverage is about 13%, I think. It's well under the allowable up to 30% in that. So with that, staff doesn't have any concerns and would recommend approval of the application as submitted.
Just a funny side note, my father's name is Philip Stanley.
Philip what?
Philip Stanley.
Oh, well, I happen to know that.
I'm looking at him like, wait a minute, you're not my dad.
So these are decals?
Yeah.
They're like
just
stickers? Oh, cool. Okay.
I don't have any concerns with them.
No, they're a good size. I would just wonder if they're really bright, but I don't think they are, and I can't really tell.
Usually, if you're in the street, you really can't see them.
Oh,
When you're right on the sidewalk, you can see them
You can see
well.
'em.
And it depends on
I
the
drove
time
by
of
them
day.
Right.
today. They're dark enough that they don't really jump
Yeah,
out.
Oh.
actually, that picture's kind of a good representation of how you see
Yeah,
it
right
from the
there.
street.
Oh, you can barely see the
Yeah.
bottom of it
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
almost like an
Okay.
etching, sort of.
We really put it on for the inside, and I didn't even consider
The outside.
it's glass. I mean, but I just didn't. But anyway.
All right.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Adam Robb,
Yes.
Lynn Bilodeau,
Yes.
Aaron Brown,
Yes.
Joe Chappell.
Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reluctantly.
There's a lot of those dispensaries coming up around town.
Yeah, everywhere.
We have a couple.
There's a lot of them.
There's a couple.
I didn't know we had so many people with medicinal needs.
Hey, man. All right.
All right.
Very well.
Item number 7 is HPC application 19016. This is a request for a certificate of appropriateness to allow for a temporary storage obtainer for the property located at 124 East Oklahoma. Staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is one of those situations where I kind of had to put my planner thinking cap on because we really don't have anything in the code to accommodate it per se, but at the same time, we have a business in the downtown that had some needs and we didn't want to go, if you want to say, unresponsive. So the request at hand is for a metal storage container at the existing Prairie Wolf Distillery. They are in the process of doing expansion and Drew even told me tonight that they've made even a step forward since the last time. So one of the things staff looked at is through the building code, we could allow a temporary storage container and so by that, I made the decision that we should probably bring it to the Historic Preservation Commission for as much as public knowledge as anything in that. So again, from our end, we're kind of looking to provide a in-between on a business that's expanding and within our community. So it would be up to 180 days max. At that point, the building permit would expire and the container would have to go away. There would be no extensions on that, so it would be just for a period of 180 days, which would basically get us through the month or get them through the month of September. So with that, staff recommends that the commission approve it, and again, that the container be removed no later than 30 September 2019. So I'll put it back to the commission for questions.
What are you guys planning on doing?
So we
Like-
was expanding more rapidly currently than we thought nationwide, and we just
Cool.
the space that we purchased. You know, we didn't build it, and it wasn't built for what we're doing, and so we just need space. So literally today we bought the building next door,
Which one?
directly to the west, 118.
Is that the
There used to be the dinner theater.
theater place?
14 years ago.
Yeah.
Stage inside. So we just literally bought that today.
Coast to coast.
Huh?
I remember when it was coast.
Tasco,
Coast to
Ta-
coast.
And I remember Otasco.
Yeah, so we have preliminary plans for that. We will use the majority of the downstairs space in that building for storage, production. We won't be keeping any high-proof alcohol over there. That's a whole thing. And then the front of it, the first phase is demo out the building to allow it to be what we need it for at the back, and then eventually we're going to put our tasting room up front on the first floor and have it be kind of bar, community space, event center. So I'm going to get a little romantic on you, but there was a place called Chez Panisse in Berkeley in the 70s, and it was a restaurant, but what was great about it, it was a place where people in the community, if you wanted to play a show, for example, you just go write your name on what night you want to play, and it's free to play, and if you get any money at the door, you get it. And then obviously the bar will be Prairie Wolf, but other than that, well, it'll be open to the public, and then the back will be for non-alcohol related business. So storage, well, what's in the container would be, well, they'll go in there. And then the rest of the stuff. But we should hopefully be closing, we set the closing date for 2 weeks from today. So once we get the close done and then cleaning it up a little bit, we can start moving stuff in there immediately.
You guys gonna?
Is this changing your plan to add on to the
When we looked at it
existing building?
economically, the cost to add on based on current specs for the facility that it is, being that it produces alcohol, you got to look at it still in a way as like a pressurized ethanol bomb. So when you look at it that way, what you have to do to build a building is quite significant. And with that, we don't need more ability to produce more. We need the ability to operate the business more effectively. Storage of materials, glass, boxes, POS materials, bring on more staff to help with that stuff. And so even if we were able to add on, it wouldn't give us the square footage that next door gives us, because next door gave us 10,500.
So basically, this temporary building, once the 6 months is up, then you're not going to be putting anything in that space.
No, no, we would
Okay.
like to beautify it a little bit, just personally,
Say
but
what?
make it prettier.
Oh, the space?
Yeah,
Or
just the front and the back.
Front and the back.
Well,
but-
I can tell you we wouldn't have a problem with it.
Like, we got them, like, the front's not bad, and we're like, this could use some work. Yeah, because we would like to be able to do is utilize, there are garage doors in the back that need to be redone, but what we'd be able to do is kind of go through back, and then hopefully, with your approval, be able to build a path through at some point, 'cause there's about 2 feet between them. It would be locked and properly, we would do everything correctly, but that way we'd be able to kind of move back and forth between the building and kind of commandeer that corner and brand it in a way with Prairie Wolf, and then create a sitting park area in the front, not just for the distillery, but for the community, do something in the back, and then the grand plan would be to blow out, what is it, the east wall? I don't know if you guys would approve this, but blow out the east wall and make that front part of an actual patio. So from the tap room, you'd be able to kind of come across and utilize that whole
So think where
area.
where the grass. On
The
front
grassy part in the
is,
front
where
is.
Where the brick wall of the new purchased building is.
Mm-hmm.
Put a door there and create
A
a patio,
outdoor space?
outdoor
That could be cool.
with
That could be cool.
on.
Are you going to do anything cool with the windows up front at the new building?
Oh, I thought you were going to see the Prairie Wolf windows. I was like, man.
No. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that'll be, so that, the first phase will be demo, and then once we get to that point, and we met with the contractor today preliminary, we'll go through, we do want to upgrade that facade.
Like, do you want to put anything in the window that's like a cool display, or are you just going to put? Yeah.
So it'll think of it as a.
Sidewalk cafe kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Like, probably in the
Yeah.
beginning during demo, and we'll come to you guys with it. We'll
Oh.
probably put some window clings or signage up, so you know
Yeah.
what.
Well, I was just asking as a personal, just wanting.
This is just being
We're just
curious.
being curious. This has nothing to do with rules. We're just wanting to know like what cool thing you're going to put in the window.
It'll be like a small, think of it like a cool, that building has a lot of great stuff in it
Yeah.
that we'll be
Yeah.
able to reuse. Do the bar and have a stage in there and
I think that building,
weekends and.
you know, the Y's right next door, right?
Yes.
This is something you guys may have noticed, but, you know, recently the Y came to us for approval of some things, and even though they hadn't asked about it, we talked about them painting the back of that building because it was as white as snow, the whole back of that building, and they painted it red brick. Now the building that you just bought has a little bit of white space up top there. You might check it out because it really jumps off the back of the building. When you're over at Cashland, or it doesn't look territorial at all.
I understand.
But I mean, you don't have to apply to keep it white. I'm just I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's a suggestion.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
So you can work out at the Y and then go drink at your place, and then
Do it in that. Don't go the other way around.
that's what I was
It
thinking.
doesn't work out so well.
When he said it was next door to you, I was like, so you can go there, work out, and then like.
Okay.
So this temporary storage building is just for your supplies until you can get all these things
Yeah, we
together.
got a contract that started about 24 hours after we heard about it. And so it was one of those, oh God, what do we do? Because there was like 10, 15 pallets of things coming in, of raw materials coming in. And that was like, we don't have room for this.
So that's what we did. And then once we realized that was the situation, we acted we've been talking with the realtor since basically we took over the distillery about the building, and this was kind of okay, it's time to buy it. Thankfully, it was still available. So we can't switch.
All right. Do I have a motion for the storage?
Lynn has a
space?
question.
Question, Joe?
Please.
Yeah.
Is 90 days going to be enough time for you to have what you need open in the building to get all your raw materials in there?
Because once we do the demo, everything goes in.
Then
there.
you can
We're
just
not
put the raw-
worried about
you don't have to
putting out
have-
the front and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Because I was going to say, you're not going to be done with the build-out in 90 days.
No, current,
So you, but you'll have it open enough where you can get.
Right.
And the only reason I'm asking, I had, right after this went up, I've had 2 constituents contact me saying, you guys need to get this off the property. This doesn't belong downtown.
oh, we've heard it.
So I'm sure you've heard the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's like
So there are already some people up in arms, so I want to be able to give somebody some assurance that 90 more days is the max that
Well,
it's going to be there.
180.
It's 180.
Well, I know, but it's already been there.
How long?
Yeah, I think
He said the end of September?
Yeah,
We had looked, based on, and again, you guys can change this, because we can do it up to 180 days, which is 6 months. We were looking at, staff was looking at the basically 90 days, because the applicant was in essence saying, I think, by the end of summer, the end of September, we could be good. If you guys want to extend it, because a building permit could be issued up to 180 days.
Well, I
Okay.
think if we know the date that it was put there, I don't have a problem going 180 days from that date. I'd probably have a problem going 180 days from today.
June 10th.
But if you guys were fine with September 30th and you think
Oh.
we're going to be there,
yeah, we're fine. We closed.
then
in
I
2
don't,
weeks.
I don't
We're
think we
looking
need
at-
to even worry about
ready with
what
that.
date it went up.
I
Okay.
mean, that's contractor talk, so please.
Right? No kidding, right?
Add 6 weeks.
You should be able to be in white box to move
Okay.
Okay.
everything in there.
So if for another 90 days is plenty of time for you, but I also understand when you're at the mercy of a third party
Yeah,
that's doing some stuff.
yeah. Thankfully, it's not. It's literally just a
Okay.
demo.
Okay,
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
all right.
Great thing.
Yeah.
If
I
there's
want
no
your
other
job.
discussion, I would move that we approve this for an additional,
All right.
if there's no other discussion, I'd move that we approve this for an additional 90 days, which would be September 30th, correct? July, August, September. 3 months. Didn't you say September 30th?
Oh, yeah, you're basically backdating it if you.
No,
No?
90 days from today.
Oh, yeah, because we would be.
Math is
July-
hard.
Yeah, we would still be end of
Okay.
September.
End of September then. I would make that motion.
Okay.
Okay. I'll second it, into September.
Had to do my math real quick.
Trick question.
Yeah. Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Adam Ropp,
Yes.
Lynn Bilodeau,
Yes.
Aaron Brown,
Yes.
Joe Chappell.
Yes.
All right.
If you only provide free beer at the next meeting. Okay, right. Whatever, I'll take it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Your
guys.
plans sound amazing.
All right. Item 8 is HPC application 19017, a request for a certificate of appropriateness for the demolition of a cinder block addition on the rear of the building and the removal of material on the front facade to replace with brick for a building located at 115 East Oklahoma.
Is somebody here?
Do we have the applicant here?
No.
Okay.
He had called, he was running behind, because Dan Triplett was the one who put the application in, and he was running behind, so I am not sure if he's going to make it. He said he might have his wife be here, but it doesn't look like we have anybody here yet. Do you want me to go ahead with the staff report, or?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right, I'm just.
Wake me up.
As was indicated, there's an existing, basically cinder block addition that was put on. Honestly, I don't know when it was put on back there, but it's in substantial disarray. You can tell it wasn't necessarily an original part of the building. It is somewhat of an eyesore. They're looking to demolish that, so that eyesore can go away. They're not looking to add anything on at this point, just, again, simply demo that portion that's along the rear alley. But in addition, there is a portion along the very front in the inistral that is, my understanding is it's like a fiberglass material currently, and they want to remove that. They're not certain what's behind there, if it's brick or something else. I'm not really sure. The only thing that I guess would be of concern from staff is that most of the buildings in the area have a defined inistral there. And so this, even though it may not be the perfect material, does have some identity. And so if they just simply put brick in its place, it will lose that kind of character of an Innistrol. And so I'm not really sure, how the commission feels about that, if they're happy with that, or if they want to have it to discuss with the applicant to try to put some type of, again, distinguishable or Innistrol back in that particular area. So with that, staff would recommend, again, based on that discussion, approval, and then also demolition of the cinder block addition in the rear.
I'm fine demolishing the cinder block. On the facade, I'm betting there's some entresol windows behind that
Probably
panel.
hidden.
They're probably, yeah.
And if there are, I'd sure hate to see them brick it. I'd like
Right.
to see the windows restored. So
Well,
until we know what's behind that panel, I don't know
Okay.
that I'd be wanting to take any action on it.
I agree with you. I don't think that we should take action at this point without further discussion
Yeah.
and,
Questioning the building owners.
well, and some investigation as to what's behind that.
I honestly can't imagine finding brick that could be
I'm
put
pretty
there
sure it's
that's
going to be
going.
windows.
I'll be honest with you,
That's gonna
behind
be
mine was
appropriate.
concrete.
Really?
Behind mine was concrete. The ceilings had been dropped by like 4 feet, and it was actually concreted in, so I just concreted
Well,
back
even-
over
we
it.
went
So
and checked them out at the YMCA, and
You-
that ceiling had been dropped 4 feet, but behind all the paneling, the windows were still up in there.
yeah,
And we let them just
mine
go
were.
ahead and cover it up because the building owner wasn't willing to shell out the bucks to restore the windows. But
Can,
they're still
can,
there on the building next.
can we vote on the cinder block and then
Yes,
table
yes.
the facade?
Because that was going to be my suggestion, is to at least that, so they can demo the back, and then I will get with the applicant to let them know that the other portion was in essence tabled until they find out exactly what's back there and kind of what we're dealing with, and then we can bring it back for a discussion and approval on what to do with the facade.
Okay.
Well, then I'll make a motion to demo the cinder block on the back.
I'll second.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes,
Adam Robb?
Yes to the blocks.
Yes, I was going to say, this is, again, approval
I was
for
making
only
sure.
the demolition part, yeah. Lynn Bilodeau,
Yes.
Aaron Brown,
Yes.
and Joe Chappell.
Yes.
All right, yeah, and that was strictly for the demolition part.
Item number 9, HPC application 19018, a request for a certificate of appropriateness for the demolition of an existing home. And approval for the construction of a new home for that property located at 314 South Second Street.
Your name's Honey Holmes?
Well, I'm Elijah, and my wife and I's
I'm joking with it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. First off, I will say that, this historic preservation stuff, I'm new to it as well in that. So originally in the staff report, I had put that it was not a contributing resource. Thanks to Aaron, I have discovered that it is indeed a contributing resource. And actually, I'll let her go into that a little bit more. But in essence, that's what the applicant was looking to do, is because it was dilapidated, was to go ahead and demolish it and then rebuild another structure in its place. So with that, I'll leave back to the commission.
It looks nice.
Well, I'm going to be the bad guy on this one. It is a historic structure. It is contributing to the overall historic district, landmark district, and our overall district, the big one. I realize it's in terrible condition, but there are lots of other buildings that have been rescued, even from being in terrible conditions. So for demolition, I'm going to say no, because it is contributing. The other half of that is the beautiful craftsman that you have proposed and to replace it. It is gorgeous. My home is a craftsman. I do love it. But the reason why Guthrie is historic is because the buildings were constructed from 1889 to 1910. And if you're going to tear down a contributing structure, it needs to be time frame appropriate, and craftsmen will not fit in that time frame.
I mean, those were just some examples of, possible, ideas, because like, talking to Dan, he said, if we have plans, but obviously, we haven't got this far yet, so we haven't got to the point of, getting plans and stuff. So like that's,
Yeah.
we would, if we were able to move forward, like we would build something that is in character with, we're not going to put something there that's out of character with everything else on the block. And, just from my standpoint, like I've redone a lot of homes around Guthrie, and I have pretty extensive construction background. And just looking at that home, like there's like the floor joists are rotten, roof joist studs, so like all that, has to be replaced. And so, pretty much all that, you have to take it out to put new in. So, even in the, if we, decided to remodel it, like, it pretty much has to, all the rotten termite infested wood, from a structural point, like that's not safe. It's not going to make a sound home. Obviously we don't want to just go back in and put, drywall over that. Like you want to, make sure that it's going to be a structurally sound home. So that's why we're, proposing the demo because, even if I do, get approval to remodel it, like it's pretty much, you're going to have to replace everything anyway. So for us, if we can just start with the new foundation, that just allows us, to have a new home instead of a remodeled home, which, we can, typically sell for a little bit more. So that's kind of where we're at is, it's pretty much beyond repair from a construction, background and standpoint, so.
Okay.
So you're saying even if you were a billionaire, you're not going to be able to save this because it's just rotting wood all the way through the...
Yeah, like, there's no way you can save rotten 2x4s. Like, you have to get new 2x4s and rotten siding. Like, you have to get new siding. Obviously, you would get it, appropriate, and, we're not going to put brick on a house, because there's no other brick homes on the street. So, there's just a certain point where wood and, other materials, like, it's not, like, it's deteriorated beyond salvageability. So that's, kind of where I'm at is, like, there's a certain point where no amount of money is going to, fix a termite-infested piece of wood. Like, you just have to get new wood at that point.
I think,
And
no, go ahead.
the foundation, it's, like, very, very structurally unsound. I don't, like, there's certain parts that are starting to sag and bow. So, even, the foundation is settling and things like that as well, so.
I was going to say, I think part of the issue here is vocabulary. When we hear the word demolish, we're thinking of something being, completely razed and never to rise again. I understand what you're saying about the condition of the house. I think the word I would prefer is reconstructed. It wouldn't look, for instance, exactly like the old house in terms of the layout or anything like that, but I would like to see the street version of it to at least fit in that time period.
Yes, and that's exactly what we want to do. It's just, demolish is kind of the first step, so we can, start with the new that's going to be, in character with everything else. But that's like, we can't really, have something new rise in that place until the old is, either demolished or taken apart or, however you want to phrase it. But like I said, we have to take all the rotten wood and the termite-infested wood out before we can, go back with new structurally sound materials. I don't know if that answers your question or.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Aaron, what is it contributing? Like, I understand that, how is this home contributing to the district?
These little packets are all of the records that were used as the documentation, supporting documentation, and the reason why Guthrie has the historic district. So the woman who did this research, she went block by block, home by home, and did all of this research on every single area between Pine, 14th, College, and Mineral Wells Park. So all buildings constructed pre-1910 fall in the time frame when Guthrie was the territorial and state capital. So from 1889 to 1910 is the reason why Guthrie is a historic district and has a landmark. So this home being built in that pre-1903, I don't have access to Sanborn fire insurance maps prior to 1903, but that's as earliest as I could get it back. That structure has been there
When was that added?
At least.
since before 1903. So it was a part of the historic fabric that made Guthrie historic. And my concern is that if we have already lost a lot of buildings, and they may not be fancy and really significant like F.B. Lilly's house or Judge Dale's house or the jail or the Carnegie Library, but all of the little houses together create the fabric that is the historic district. And this one is in the historic district and the landmark district, which is why it's before here. So I have a problem with,
Do we have any idea when the little shed roof bump out was done on the front? Because I don't think that's part of the original house.
no, and it's obviously, even between 1903 and 1908, you can see that it was added onto, but there were additions from its original existence in 1903, in 1908, and then again in 1910, and I'm sure that there were additions continuing on.
So was that addition, the little shed roof thing I'm pointing to here?
She's saying it,
Do we know if it was there before 1910?
Don't have any way.
Okay.
All we have is the footprint that is in these little packets here.
Looking at the condition of this home, I'm surprised it's not on the city's dilapidated structure demolition list, though, to be quite honest.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I am, Aaron, I am right there with you. I would love to save everything we could save, but as I look at some of these photographs and I think of everything it's going to take to reconstruct it,
You can't.
it's for the purpose of what? And I get it, but I'm sitting here thinking from a cost standpoint to reconstruct it, he's not going to be able to sell it for what he would need out of it if he could then just raise it and start again. And I know that's not ideal. I mean,
Right.
from a historic standpoint, but at the same token, he couldn't sell it for that, and then just to know that it would be completely constructed, what someone could insurance cost rate. I mean, it would be much cheaper because it would be a new home versus an old home. And there's no crawl space per se really underneath there. I mean, that's just.
I don't even think it's a matter of if he can resell and recuperate. I literally think it's impossible. Like I said, a billionaire could not.
Yeah.
If it's a rotting wall, a rotting
I've been in it.
bones,
You know,
rotting floor, there's literally nothing to salvage.
Elijah, is the foundation, is it
Sandstone.
sandstone?
Yeah, you
Stone?
can't even use
Okay.
it.
And it's very deteriorated. And, for you, like my wife and I, like I said, we've redone a lot of homes, and we're not wanting to demo it just to demo it. Like, we want to have, have a great house there.
I know
for
you guys
somebody.
do good work. I've seen
Yeah.
your houses.
So I mean, our mission is to, provide great housing for people in Guthrie.
Well, you bought it with the plan to redo it, refix it, but that. It
Just
was
didn't work
not.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once we got in there and saw, the amount of work that we'd have to do I mean, it was just pretty much impossible because, it's so, I mean, as you can see, there's holes in the roof, like the bathtub sitting on the dirt, like there's just, so that tells me, the floor joists are rotten. And also, like a lot of homes that were built in that period, like they're, like the joists, like the size of the wood and stuff is not really structurally sound nowadays. So like the joists are, probably 2x6s where they should really be like 2x8s or 2x12s, just to, to be structurally sound. So.
Is there, is this something that you have to start immediately? Working on this building?
I mean, we would like to get started as soon as we can. I mean, it's,
But like if it was tabled so that you could bring back a new design that was accommodating to the period, instead of risking getting a no vote. I'm not voting.
yeah.
I'm related to this young man by marriage. And a
Good.
2-2 vote would, it's my understanding, would deny you. So,
Could we do
I just
it?
think if we were allowed to table this and you brought back or even went to the territorial library, talked to some people who know what they're talking about,
I have to
that maybe we
say,
could get this done.
as a historian in good conscience, I understand what you're saying about the building, but I couldn't vote in favor of demolition unless I know what you're going to replace it with.
I would
So-
think if we instructed the young man that he could demo it, but the fact that he needs to construct something, not approve any front facade change or front facades until we saw them to make sure it was complimentary of the period.
That would be
I mean, I would
Mm-hmm.
say let him go through with his demo, and then he can't construct anything until we can approve a facade.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, obviously, before I construct, any new building, I'll have to get permits from Mike and stuff, so you can just say, I won't be able to get those permits until I submit something that's, gonna be, okay with you guys.
Yeah, I
But,
mean,
like,
I'm a brick Nazi, which is where I don't want one brick in town to be disturbed. And I'm on that group, that secret group everyone's talking about with Byron's building that got burnt down. It's me and like 6 other people, and we're the ones that's trying to save that and redo it. So like I'm anti whatever, and even I'm just like, if it's literally just rotting from the outside all the way over, what this really is just a tragedy that somebody let it get to this point, but you can't fix rotting wood. So I would,
Well, I think Joe's point was that even for demo, if we took the vote right now, I don't think we would have enough votes to.
We've not, and I would just,
oh,
if we get a table, we can revisit this.
we have to have 5 for a,
You have to have the majority of
You have
who's
to have a
present.
majority for it to pass.
oh,
So,
Well, we don't know until we vote.
yeah.
That's also true, but then
I'll just do this. I
But
would,
then it
I would
fails.
move that we approve demolition with the stipulation that they don't build anything till we see what they're gonna put there. Because the building's gonna fall over on its own, even if we don't
Right,
approve demolition.
right. It's
And that
done.
allows them to at least start on that phase 1 of it.
Yeah.
Next month, he can bring some pictures of representative buildings that he, and I don't know if you call what's up there, is that a bungalow style?
No.
I don't know what you call is it,
Craftsman, I think, did you
what's
say
the
that,
correct
Aaron?
Craftsman.
no, that's what he's wanting to put. That's
Right,
what
and
the-
that-
and I don't necessarily
We
even
don't
want
want
to
the
put a
craftsman.
craftsman.
Right, this is
But what's
just
there
an
right
old,
now?
it's an old 4-square Victorian.
Okay.
Originally, it's been added
So,
onto.
and we can cross that bridge once he looks at some floor plans and brings something
Yes,
to
that
us.
sounds great, except that we have, the commission in the past has approved demolition for a structure, even while having plans of these great and beautiful building, and then what was actually constructed did not look anywhere close to the plans that we approved. And I have been accosted in the grocery store, and people caught me on Facebook and at work to yell at me. So I don't want a lynch mob showing up at work.
Well, but I
So-
agree, yeah, but he has to get, well, but you're saying you're going to make sure you get approval again on the, whatever that's going to be.
Yep.
Yeah, I
But
mean-
we've said that before,
yeah.
and it
I mean,
bit us in the butt every time.
If I can help matters, I know there's some things that went maybe unnoticed, didn't care, slipped through the cracks, however you want to say it, in the past when it comes to those type of things. I will tell you that I'm one that when there's decisions by any of the boards or commissions or councils, make sure that when those plans come in, that it meets pretty much what was intended, and if not, they will come back again to ensure that what is being built there will actually be what is built. I can tell you that much. I know maybe in the past, some things have, again, maybe slipped by, but, obviously, he has to go through a building permitting process regardless, which has elevations in that. And so ensuring that what you approve and what he is going to put forth will meet it. I can also tell you that recently with the Planning Commission, when we, even as staff, had concerns on whether or not it meant the code or what was approved, we brought it back to that respected body for them to make a final decision. So even at such time that they come in with those plans, if we feel that there is still some uncertainty, we'll bring it back to you.
Did we have a motion?
We do.
Yes, there was a
Lynn made a
motion
motion.
to go ahead and allow for the demolition, but to have the applicant come back with specific drawings for a time period appropriate home.
Second.
Valerie Duncan,
Under the circumstances, no.
Adam Robb,
Yes.
Lynn Bilodeau,
Yes.
Aaron Brown,
No.
Joe Chappell,
I abstain.
2-2 vote.
So that motion failed.
Correct, because you didn't get a majority of who was here.
You just-
But that doesn't mean he can't
No.
prepare the exact same thing, but
what-
bring us some pictures of what you
what-
want to
what
put
you
there,
need-
and I think you'll get the
What
votes.
you need to do is
The 1 month.
withdraw your approval and come back. That's not. Okay.
Yeah, so as I say, the direction is for the commission to table the item, have him bring it back upon specifics of a or whatever, the
be
reconstruction. Yeah, got it.
And, 'cause I promised him he could have the history of the property as I know it so far.
Okay, item 10 is HPC application 9019, a request for a certificate of appropriateness for a new Kellogg Insurance Agency projecting sign on building located at 119 North Division Street. Staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just as you indicated, it's a request for a projecting sign at a building that currently does not have one. They're looking to locate it on the industrial area above the main entrance. The proposed sign is 4 foot by 3 foot roughly. Actually, it's a little less. I kind of rounded up. But you have the renderings that were provided. It does not exceed the size or meets basically the maximum size that would be allowed for a projecting sign. And through the permitting process, we will make sure that it's mounted to the requirement of being at least 8 foot above the sidewalk. The colors are proposed to be a light gray, which is actually platinum on the Ace Hardware, with the lettering being more of a reddish, which is Raven's Rage, which was also on the Ace Hardware. So with that, I'll leave it back to commission.
All right.
I don't have any concerns on this one. It looks like it'll look nice.
Okay. Any other comments on the sign?
I'd move we approve it.
Okay.
Was that a motion?
Sorry, you made a motion?
I move to
Okay,
approve.
okay.
I second it.
Second it, all right. Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Adam Robb,
Yes.
Lynn Bilodeau,
Yes.
Aaron Brown,
Yes.
Joe Chappell.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Sorry you were last, John. A long meeting. Do we have any staff comments?
No, none tonight.
All right, any commissioner comments? I'm just going to say on this house, of course, I can't vote on it, but, I know that I've driven down there and I've been in that house, and I just want to comment that, if they can't move forward with this, we're just going to have a dilapidated eyesore there, and I would really like to, and I'll talk to him about, trying to salvage something from that home and then having the right design moving forward, so.
And I agree. I mean, I understand that the
Yeah.
construction of the home is such that what's there now can't be saved, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to approve something not knowing where it's going to go from that, because
Right.
I feel like
Right.
that's,
And I don't think that we were trying to approve any building design. We were just trying to let him get head started with his demolition.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make some people upset with this, but because we didn't allow that to happen tonight, I think is why the community calls us the Hysterical Society and not the Historical Society.
Yeah.
Just because I think that not allowing him to follow through with his demo, at least let him get started on his project. I think that there are good members of our community that have done a lot of nice things with homes, that I don't think their intent is to ruin the historical integrity of that street. I think that by telling them we want them to come back with something that is historically accurate, I think they'll do so. I hated that we didn't allow him to go ahead and get started on his
I
project.
hope so, but it also has to be said that we're here for a reason, and sometimes those decisions aren't easy ones.
And they're
I mean,
difficult.
I didn't make my decision to inconvenience anyone, but I do care that Guthrie remains on the National Register.
And that's why you're here.
And that's why I'm here.
And, I mean, it was the people who, the old bus station that was torn down, and it wasn't a contributing to the historic nature, so HP approved it, and they had this beautiful, with all of the elevations, all of the construction plans, everything. We were swamped in paperwork, and it was beautiful. It was going to look gorgeous, and we approved it. And then that is not what is there now, by any stretch of the imagination.
You're talking about the Prairie Wolf building?
What is now Prairie
Ah.
Wolf, yeah. That's not what we approved, and people were pissed off at me. And we don't have, the city, at the time, there's been a lot of changeover and a lot of staff, and there's a whole bunch of different personalities since that has happened, and we did not have any backup. And the city just let us go, and people were mad personally at me for approving the demolition of that old bus station, even though we had all these beautiful plans. And so I'm just very hesitant of,
Wasn't it Mr. Ropp who said at the last meeting that you
don't
didn't
trust
trust
people?
anybody?
Well, no, I still don't. But what I mean by that is I don't trust them from A to Z with us never having seen them ever to do the right thing.
I agree.
But he was here saying, I'll tear it down, but I won't put anything here until I approve it with you guys. And,
I know, I'm just very
you know,
cautious.
that's different.
And I'm being very conservative
Well,
and
he'll
being
be
very
back.
cautious.
We totally-
Bad guy.
I
I know that they.
Totally agree. But if somebody's going to do something bad, they're going to do it without approval or not. And so, I mean, like that building you were talking about where they got mad at you for it. I mean, whether they got approval or not, they're going to do it. And he's going to go out and do it whether he gets approval or not. You know, I mean, well, probably not because he has integrity, but, you know. What were you going to say, James?
Oh, no, I didn't have anything more to say.
I mean, again, I've seen their work, I've seen the houses that they have done, and they do beautiful work. But this one, I'm just going to be extra conservative on.
Any other comments?
Lynn?
All right, meeting adjourned.